Big changes happening right now in the Fernie. It's epic powder days, great mountain biking, tons of fishing. But lately, things have been changing. Things have been changed for probably the last 20 years, but even more so in the last little bit. For lots, for many, the dream of home ownership in Fernie is getting tougher and tougher, with housing prices continuing to climb. This video is part of an exclusive collaboration with top real estate YouTubers from across North America. We're each breaking down what's really happening in our local markets. The stuff you won't hear about on the evening news or read about in some generic market report. You want the inside scoop, the real inside scoop of what's going down in the markets around you and beyond your backyard. Make sure to check out all the videos linked below. These aren't just random YouTubers. These are people who know their markets inside out and can help you every step of the way. So basically I did a post the other day. A lot of people were like all up in arms, kind of going a little crazy. The attention was incredible. The market report that I had posted didn't have quite enough information for some people. So this one's going to be a little bit longer, but it's going to cover just about everything you could possibly wonder about what's going on in this market. So I got to set the scene. That's where we are. Now, Fernie is a unique place, and it's not the same as every small town. Those of you that don't know what a Fernie is, or where it even exists, pay attention before you make any comments. Fernie's just not another ski town. It's a vibrant four-season destination that offers an incredible quality of life. We're surrounded by every outdoor activity you could possibly think of doing. Minutes, like I'm talking literally minutes from your doorstep. You could be on the ski hill, skiing, downhill, cross country, whatever you want to do, snowboard, in 5 to 10 minutes. You could be mountain biking 5 to 10 minutes. It's up to you. The unique blend has always made Fernie a highly desirable place to be and to live. Literally, the lifestyle that we enjoy here is paramount. It's awesome. There's nothing else like it, and I love it here. Over the past decade, Fernie has seen significant evolution from primarily a seasonal tourist destination with a strong coal mining support to more so probably more recreational and tourist type. We've seen a lot of growth in our local economy, our schools, our amenities, and we are drawing permanent residents that we didn't normally draw 20 years ago. For years leading up to the pandemic, Fernie's real estate was basically steady Eddie, just crawling nice and slowly. One year, Charlie Locke bought the ski hill, and all of a sudden, whoop, had a little bit of a bump, and we became a destination type ski hill town. We were still heavily focused on coal mining at the time, and you could work at the coal mine and live in town here. And then came 2020. Remember that? Yeah, that was a bunch of... Anyways, the world changed and so did Fernie's market. Okay, I remember about 10 years ago, there would be maybe one person that had a job in Calgary but worked remotely, part-time in Fernie. I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world. Never thought of anything like it. He basically had his engineering office set up in an office downtown and worked from there as if he was in Calgary. That was unheard of at the time. And then of course the pandemic came, and that made a reality for many, many, many people. Now what happened in the pandemic times was we had and experienced lots of people, lots of families, people that had vacation homes, they all came down here. As soon as they got, and they would live here and work from here and then go back up to Calgary whenever they had to, or anywhere else in Alberta or Saskatchewan for that matter. So people would come here and they would live the lifestyle, their kids would live the lifestyle, family would live the lifestyle that they want to live, and you'd have to work, and it was the pandemic times. You worked when you wanted to work and needed to work and get things done. So what that did was it made it so that people came down here and used all these facilities and whatever they could get their hands on, but truly enjoyed and embraced the lifestyle that we have here. Then when people were called back to work and the pandemic was over, people kind of dug their heels in a bit and said, I'm going to stay. All right. So prices took a lot of jumps, and a lot of people were looking hard to get out of the downtown big city condo buildings and apartment buildings and made their way down here. And that's what they did. And they bought, and now they've stayed. So that was the start of the big changes. So currently, where are we today? July 2025. Looking at the latest data. Now I'm going to read a lot of this because it's a lot of numbers, but just bear with me, okay? 2025, looking at the latest data from June 2025, the market in Fernie is tight across most segments. For single-family homes, the benchmark price has reached a significant $1,017,900. This represents a robust, that's not my word, 7.7% increase compared to June of 2024. However, we've seen a slight cooling in terms of transaction volume, with only 8 sales of single-family homes in June 2025. That's 11.1% decrease in units over the previous year. Townhouses in Fernie tell an interesting story. There were 2 sales in June of 2025, which is a notable 100% increase from last year. It's kind of funny how just such a small number can change the story. The benchmark pricing for townhouses now stands at $658,900, and that's up 7.8% from June of 24. Now, condos, apartments, there's been 5 sales in June of 2025, 50% decrease in sales volume compared to previous year. Interestingly, the benchmark price for condos and apartments is currently $428,300, which is actually a 7.4% decrease compared to June of 2024. This might suggest a slight softening in this segment, possibly due to affordability pressures or a shift in buyer preference, or perhaps simply fewer desirable units coming to market. I'm going to say there's fewer on the market. Now, to put this in a broader context, because a lot of you guys still don't get where Fernie is and what Fernie is and what it is, what it entails. The overall Kootenay region. So we're going to look at the Kootenay region. That's cool. Here's an overall Kootenay region. So it's residential average price for May of 2025 at $567,285. That's down 2% from May of 2024. Now, this regional average suggests that while Fernie's prices are still climbing for single-family homes and townhouses, other areas within the Kootenay region might be experiencing a different market dynamic. Total active listings in the Kootenay region for May of 2025 were 1,712 units, up 6.5%, indicating that overall inventory might be improving in the broader region, but not necessarily for Fernie itself. The sales to active listing ratio for the Kootenay region was 18.7% in May, which is generally considered a balanced market, yet Fernie specific data points to a seller's market for detached homes. Let's break down the key factors contributing to this intensified market here in Fernie. First and foremost, we've got continued out-of-province migration. Despite broader provincial slowdowns, smaller desirable communities like Fernie continue to attract people from major urban centers. And with that, they bring higher purchasing power. This demographic shift is sustained even if the frantic pace of the pandemic years has eased. Second, limited land availability and development constraints. Fernie is a tough place geographically, surrounded by mountains, rivers, protected lands, and we just can't have sprawl here. We just can't keep going north, and we can't keep going south. Just geographically impossible. And the natural bottleneck means that even if demand moderates slightly, supply remains a significant challenge. And finally, the short-term rental market, it's expensive. It's expensive to rent here. And the short-term rental market has taken, units out of the long-term rental pool. But hey, to each their own, right? If you own something and you want to rent it out short term, I believe you should be able to rent it out short term. And if you want to do it long term, do it long term. It's up to you. Now, Fernie does have certain rules in place. Most of the time now, you have to own, if you want to be in an Airbnb, you have to own the house, live in the house, and then you can have a separate suite rented out. Okay? Majority of the time, different rules up at the ski hill, different rules out at Riverside. Okay? Ask your realtor, me, the differences and what you need to know. All right. This strong market has a significant downside for the community, local residents, especially young families, essential workers, and those employed in our services have a hard time finding a place to live. And it's just not about, our teachers, our nurses, our doctors. Everybody's having a bit of a tough time to find somewhere to live. And there is a solution to this, and I'm going to get to a little bit further on here. I believe that I think I have somewhat of a solution. I can't say that I know it all, but I have some solution. And if these people can't afford to live here, what's going to happen in 5 or 10 years? This, however, is a question that we've been battling over the last 20. Okay? Now, the interest rate environment, we can't ignore it. It is what it is. It's doing what it's doing. It seems somewhat stable now. At least it's not 7%. And it's too bad it's not 0%, because then, you could buy things like crazy. But I tell you what, if you're not ready to go and the interest rates drop again, you better have your stuff all lined up with your mortgage broker so that you can jump on this next opportunity, okay? Fernie is a high demand market. We have lots of buyers just waiting for the right property. The sellers, on the other hand, got a lot of buyers looking at your place. Most important, you gotta price your place right, okay? So, what's being done about this? The city of Fernie, local developers and community groups are aware of the housing crisis. Ongoing talks. Enough with the talks. Let's actually do something, get some turnaround going here. Things shouldn't take so long to go through the permitting process. So it's very simple here, folks, and this is where I'm going to have my little suggestion. The law of supply and demand. Look it up, Google it, whatever. But basically it says if the supply is high and the demand is high, the prices will balance. If the supply is high and the demand is low, the prices will come down. If the demand is high and the supply is low, prices will rise. So more supply, same demand, more supply, the prices will even out and get better. So that's what we need. We need more properties. We need more things. We need more single family houses. We need some more townhouses. On that note, the city of Fernie is building a building downtown where the old fire station is, and that will hopefully take care of some of the issues. It's not going to take care of all of them, but it's a start. Let's get some more houses getting built in that. I'd love to see houses in townhouses in that $700 to $100 million range. That'd be awesome. Now for the big question, what can we expect in the upcoming months and even years? It's tough to predict, but there's several scenarios. We could stabilize, see a dip, and we can see renewed buyer confidence across the board. However, Fernie's consistently limited supply. This is the important part. Significant price drops are unlikely with a major economic downturn. The broader BC market has seen declining sales activity and average price adjustments. Fernie's unique position might mean it remains somewhat insulated from severe downturns. Yes, we might live in a bubble, the Fernie bubble, but it's not immune to broader economic forces. We might see a slight moderation in the rapid pace of appreciation we've experienced, but Fernie and its unique appeal will continue to attract buyers, keeping demand strong. The long-term trend, without significant and successful intervention to increase supply, points towards continued upward pressures on prices, making affordability an ongoing challenge. We could see a widening gap between what a typical local income can afford and the prevailing market prices, potentially reshaping the demographics of our community. All right, now here's some advice for buyers, particularly those looking to make Fernie their home. You got to be patient and you got to be prepared. You got to be patient. You wait for that product to come on the market that you really, really want. And you need to be prepared. You need to know what's coming. You need to know what's going. You need to have your finger on the pulse if you're ready to go. And most importantly, you got to have your pre-approvals in place so that you know exactly what your price range is that you can go after. And when you want to go after it and the right property comes up, be aggressive. Don't sit back. If you want it, grab it. If you don't, and you're humming and hawing, good chance you're not going to get it. For sellers, still a strong market. Great time to capitalize on some equity. Don't get greedy. Buyers now are much more patient and prepared. Maximize your return. Right now in today's market, the number is your days on market for a single family home is going to be about 120 days. Say, call it 100 to 120 days. And you're basically going to get about 94% of your asking price. So 6% will go to negotiation. Now, if somebody brings you an offer at 10% under ask, it's not something we scoff at anymore. We actually negotiate. Okay? So don't get your bee in a bonnet. Make it happen. Fernie real estate market in July 2025 is a reflection of its crazy wannabe place to live, but also the challenges that come with rapid growth in a highly desirable and geographically constrained area. See, we're not just getting people from Calgary. We're getting people from Whistler. We're getting people from Banff, Kelowna, Toronto, Quebec, international. People want to live here because they love it here. They come for the winter, they stay for the summer, and then they never leave. It's just the way it is. What are your thoughts? Drop them in the comments below. Let me know what you think. I'm sure I missed a couple things, but let me know, all right?